Hello. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining in. Just let me know if I'm audible to all of you. I'll just pin the topic for the session. Yeah. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining in. If I'm audible, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'll just wait for a few more people to join in so that we can start. Okay. Okay, I'll just introduce myself. So I'm Saumya and my Instagram handle is letters by Saumya. I mainly do brush calligraphy, but I love to incorporate a lot of different mediums and I love to explore different mediums basically. And today we'll be creating some easy watercolor backgrounds that you can incorporate with your letterings and mandalas, etc. Even for the greeting cards, bookmarks. I'll just flip my camera and we'll just start in a minute. Okay. 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 Just let me know if my screen is visible to all of you. Is my screen visible to all of you? Okay, thank you. So today we will be creating some watercolor backgrounds, very easy watercolor backgrounds. And for that you will be needing watercolor paper. I will be using Anupam and Canson. You can use any brand. And I will be using Camlin watercolors. You can use whatever is available with you, okay? Other than that, you need some water, some tissue or a rough cloth and paint brushes. For one background, you will be needing some salt also. I hope I am audible to all of you. You all can just paint with me, and in case you can't do that, you can watch the session later on. I'll be saving it as an IGTV. If you create anything from this session, make sure to tag us, me and pen, paper, scissor in your stories. Okay, so should we start with the session now? Just give me a thumbs up if you are ready with your material. Prati, I'll be using A6 size so that we can make more backgrounds in less time, okay? You can also use an A5 size sheet. So I'll just show some of the backgrounds to you that we'll be creating today, okay? So here are some samples. We'll do as many as possible. This is the background where I used salt. We'll be creating this. This is an abstract background. In case you have any queries, you can leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. Okay, then let's just start with the session now. So for the first background, we'll start off with a very easy background wherein we'll just paint some lines with a free hand, okay? I Candy Crush 19. So what I'll do is that I'll take a round brush. This is size 4 and this is Camlin synthetic brush. So what I'll do is that I'll take different colors into it and then just draw lines. It's up to you if you want them to be horizontal or vertical. Okay. Your lines don't need to be very straight, okay? Just paint with a very free hand. In case you have any queries, you can ask. I'll take red now. You can choose whatever colors you want to choose, okay? Make sure it is not too dark so that you can write over it, or if you want to create a mandala, a greeting card, bookmark, it's totally up to you. We'll just take different colors and just repeat the process. In case my screen is not visible to you, just let me know, or if I'm not audible. I hope you are painting with me. I'll just paint one last line and then we'll move on to the next background so that we don't take much time. Okay, so you can just finish it after the session, and without wasting our time, let's just start with the next background. Okay, now for the next background we'll be painting circles. So when we paint backgrounds, I personally prefer adding some shapes or patterns. For example, here are circles, hearts, rectangles, and you can also add some florals. Okay, so we'll be creating the circle background now. Again, we'll be using a size 4 round paintbrush, and we'll just take different colors and just paint circles. You can also blend some circles into each other. It's totally up to you. Also, if you want to buy watercolor paper, watercolor, or any other stationery item, you can check the website of Pen Paper Scissor. In case something is not available on their website, you can DM them. Okay, so we'll just paint some circles randomly using different colors. You can also stick to 1 or 2 shades, it's totally up to you. I'll blend one circle with this circle now. We don't need to be symmetrical. Okay, so like this you can cover the entire sheet. Over this background you can do some calligraphy, you can create a mandala, or you can paint this on a greeting card, bookmark. Let me know if you are painting with me. In case you have any questions, you can ask. Also, the live session will be saved as an IGTV. So in case you miss it right now, you can always watch it. And if you have any queries, you can also DM me after the session. Krati, do you have a doubt? Okay, so I'll just stop here. You can just complete the entire sheet. Okay. Now for the next background, we'll be painting hearts like this. Okay. Now it's totally up to you if you want to use a lot of colors, or if you want to use only 2 or 3 shades, or if you want your hearts to be in symmetry. It's totally up to you. Okay. For this background, I'll be using Canson 300 GSM paper, which is available with pen, paper, scissor. Okay, Krati, okay. Do share the picture of your artworks with us, and if you post them in your story or your profile, make sure to tag us. Okay, so now we'll be just painting some hearts. I'll be using a size 4 paintbrush again, round, okay. And again we'll just take paint into our brush and randomly paint hearts here and there using different shades. And now the size of the heart is also up to you. If you want bigger hearts or if you want smaller hearts. I'll take another shade now. And you can also blend in the hearts like this. I'll take a bigger brush. I hope you are enjoying the session. I'll take pink. You can make it colorful if you want. You can also add some metallic paints. Instead of hearts, you could also paint some other patterns or shapes. Basically, you can use your creativity. Thank you, Anu. If you want to ask anything, you can ask me. Even after this session, you can DM me. I'll also add some metallic paint. Like I'll just overlap some hearts to just add a character. You can overlap your hearts with any paints. Since today is Father's Day, you can also write Happy Father's Day over this background and it will be a Father's Day card. I'll just continue with the hearts and just complete. After this, we will be creating 3 more backgrounds. This live will be saved as an IGTV issue. This live will be saved as an IGTV video and it will be available on the page of Pen Paper Scissor. Any other doubts? We are almost done with this background. If you create any of the backgrounds, make sure to share it with us, okay? Krati, I am using Camlin watercolor palette. I'll just show this one. This is available on their website, Pen Paper Scissor, okay? You can DM them also. This is a very affordable palette and it is artist grade, so you can buy it. We are almost done with this background and we'll move on to the next background. Okay, I'll just leave it like that and just add some metallic shimmery hearts and then we'll move on to the next one. This step is totally optional. I just like it that way. It's up to your preference and availability. In case your water is dirty, please change it before moving on to the next background so that we don't spoil it. Okay, then let's move on to the next background now. Now for the next background, we'll be creating some rectangles using I'll just show, using a flat brush. So I'll use a flat brush and I'll just imitate some rectangles. Again, we'll just use a lot of colors, or you can use a specific palette, color palette. Okay, so I just took paint into my flat paintbrush and I'll just go like this, okay? And I'll just randomly paint these rectangles here and there. I'll take another color just to repeat. Again, you can use whatever is available with you. This is a size 4 brush only. You can add some metallic shades to this one also, and again use it in the same ways as I already mentioned. Okay, you can add some more rectangles if you want to. So it's up to you. You can even splatter over it. It just gives a character to your background. I'll just do that using a metallic shade. Okay, so you just tap over your brush. You can incorporate splatters on any background. That is it. Okay, are you done with it? Now we won't be painting these two in the session, but I'll just explain. So I painted some loose florals here, some roses here, and here's a pattern. Okay, let's move on to the abstract background. So I'll just show some abstract backgrounds to you. This is an abstract background, and this is also an abstract background. This also, this one too. Okay, so for abstract backgrounds you don't need to be specific with anything. There are no rules for it. You can just randomly paint some strokes here and there, and yeah, you can even incorporate botanicals with it. It just looks good, I guess. So we'll just create a basic abstract background right now. You can definitely make changes according to your preference, all right? So you can also use acrylics or gouache for this background. Right now we'll be using some watercolors only. I'll just, it's totally up to you if you want to follow me for this background or if you want to use your own creativity for it. It's totally up to you. I'll just fill this. In case you have not yet made a Father's Day card for your dad, you can use these backgrounds for the same. And if you do, make sure to post a story and tag me, Letters by Saumya and Pen Paper Scissor. You can also check their website for a lot of stationery. Okay, now I'll add 2 of these here. Again, the color choice is totally up to you. Okay, and last. Okay, I'll just let it dry. And after that, we'll just add some strokes here and there. And we can also add some botanicals like this, or any element is totally up to you. Like here I added some circles and some curves. So you can also add some flowers, maybe leaves, stars. It's totally up to you. Okay, we'll come back to this one. Okay, I'll just let it dry. Okay, so moving on to the last background, and for this one I'll be using Anupam watercolor paper. Again, that is available on the website of Pen Paper Scissor, and you can DM them if you have any queries. I'll just tape the paper because this is a wet on wet technique and we'll be needing a lot of water. You can use a masking tape if you want. And for this background, we'll also be needing some salt for a snowflake effect. I'll just show what it will be like. So if you look at this effect is known as snowflake effect, and we use salt for it. Okay, so we'll be creating this one. All the techniques we used were wet on dry, but now this one is wet on wet. So make sure you're using a good watercolor paper for this particular background. Again, you can use your own color scheme of your own choice for this background. So what we'll do is that we'll take some clean water in our paintbrush, and then we'll just make the paper wet with it. We'll use a good amount of water for this background. Make sure that you don't overdo it, but the paper should be wet, like properly wet. Okay, now once the paper is wet, what we do is that we'll take some paints into our paintbrush, into a wet paintbrush. Okay, and we'll just take paint into it and just dab here and there. Okay, like this. Make sure your paintbrush is wet too. Okay, the paper is also wet and our paintbrush is also wet. This is a wet on wet technique, as I mentioned. I'm taking shades of blue. You can take any color scheme. For example, here I have used pink and orange. Here I have used pink and some brown. Here I have used black, blue and green. So it's totally up to you. You can also use purple and pink, or orange yellow, red yellow. It's totally up to you. I'll just add some pink to it. So there is no rule to it. You can just randomly dab your paintbrush, and in case you think that you have put a lot of water somewhere, you can just pick it up using a tissue. I'll just give it one more coating so that it is darker and vibrant. Again, this is also optional. I'll just add some pink here. You can also paint a galaxy using this technique by adding darker shades on the corners and lighter shades in the center. It looks beautiful. This is a round brush and this one is a size 8 brush. You can use whatever is available with you for now, and in case you wish to buy anything, you can check their website, check their account, pen, paper, scissor. Okay, this is it. I'll just splatter some paint over it. Again, this is optional. Now what we'll do is that make sure that your paper is still wet. Just wait for a few seconds, and then we'll start adding some salt. Yeah, so we'll just add some salt over it now. I'll just show how. So in whatever areas you want the snowflake effect to show, you can just put some salt over it. Like basically just sprinkle a very tiny amount of salt. Make sure you have put pigment properly, otherwise it won't really work. So now I am taking some salt. I'm using this salt, and I'll just sprinkle it randomly. You can also sprinkle it on some specific areas. It's totally up to you, up to your preference. Okay, that is it. We'll just wait for it to dry, and then it will be done. Okay, the snowflake effect will start coming. I'll just show again. Can you see this? This is the snowflake effect. Meanwhile this is drying, I'll just add some strokes to this background. Okay, so I'll be taking a black marker and I'll add a curve here. So I'm doing it randomly, and you can do that too. One here, and then I'll add some doodles later on. Maybe you can add circles, stars, as I mentioned, and even botanicals. You can also add some shapes, like here I have added a circle or a rectangle. I hope you all enjoyed the session, and I'll just end it here. If you have created any background, please share it with me, and with pen, paper, scissor. We'll be happy to look at it, and we'll also repost it. I'll just show all the backgrounds to you once that we created today. We did an abstract background, rectangles. We also painted some circles, and we also learned the snowflake effect that is still drying, and we also painted a heart background. I hope you all enjoyed the session, and I enjoyed it too. So I'll just end it here. Thank you so much for joining in, and bye.